What's up guys, it's Scrappy, and in this video we're going to be summing up what has been going on in the world of BattleBit Remastered and covering the latest dev block number 5 and future plans for BattleBit. This game honestly has been my main go-to as of lately, especially with my busy schedule. It's just easy to pick up and put down whenever I want, and this dev team just seems so enthusiastic about their project, and I love a dev team who are passionate about their game and their fans. Alright, so the devs just had their 5th devcast, and it was mainly about community servers. It was an hour and 50 minutes long, so I'm going to try to condense this information down in a shorter form so you don't have to watch the whole thing. So let's get started. Community servers. Sergeant Okidoki stated that one of the main reasons he's really focusing on community servers, and states that he thinks there's a lot of potential there, and it seems to be a big focus right now for the dev team. They believe that being able to customize and host a server with your own settings and mods can really impact the state of the game in the future, especially when you can just adjust the server settings to your own liking. Some comparisons he made was being able to change a game mode to a more slower paced type of game mode, or even a more hardcore mode, and even mentioned personally liking Milsim. So if that's something you guys like, a more hardcore, slower paced game mode, this is most likely something you're going to be able to create or even join. He spoke about how Battlefield 4 thrived with their community servers, and also gave some examples like a helicopters only lobby or tanks only lobby, and stated that this could be something you can also do as long as they can get the proper API support for it. If you don't know what an API is, APIs are mechanisms that enable two software components to communicate with each other using a set of definitions and protocols. An API is the acronym for Application Programming Interface, and its main job is the process of two applications or multiple applications to talk and communicate with each other. So without the proper API for community servers, we're not going to be able to edit and set parameters for different settings within the game. So it's vital that they create the proper infrastructure to enable this for the community servers, and that's what Sergeant Okidoki is currently focusing on. They also went on to speak about experience points with community servers, and this is something that are taken very serious right now, because they do not want the community servers and experience points to be exploited through the server settings, like 10 times experience per kill, etc., and refer to how Battlefield 2042 community servers were in the beginning, where community servers were actually being exploited to gain huge amounts of experience and power level very easily. This is a concern they have for their community servers, and want to take the proper steps to make sure that this cannot happen, and basically stated no progression whatsoever through community servers. They spoke about charities being implemented within the community, and spoke about microtransactions. They stated that when you do buy or purchase any type of microtransaction, like a skin for your character for example, all the proceeds will go towards the charity. Like they spoke about Make-A-Wish Foundation. So if they were to implement Make-A-Wish Foundation, all the proceeds will go to that foundation. Whenever you host a game server, Sergeant Okidoki also showed some examples of some arguments that you can change, which actually change the server settings. For example, he showed a command line where you can put a class limit on how many of each class can be in the same game or in your squad. For example, medics, you can have a limit to only maybe 1 medic or 2 medics, or just make it so that everybody in the game have to be a medic. I'm sure this will also go for support, recon, assault, and basically whatever class you choose to set the settings for. And I also saw some commands that look like you could change where people spawn, and I'm sure there's going to be a wide variety of what you can do here in terms of changing the server settings to what you like or what you want to create. Sergeant Okidoki also stated that with community servers, it will use your official stats that you have already progressed through non-community servers or official servers, but you just won't be able to progress those stats when you play a community server. So if you already leveled up to like 105, for example, in just the official servers, when you go to a community server, you're still going to have everything unlocked. You're still going to have you're still going to be 105. You just, whatever experience that you get is just not going to actually progress your character. So honestly, most of the devcast was to really showcase the broad modifications you can do to your own community server. And it seems like you're going to actually be able to create what you really want to be able to play or host for people or your friends. If you're thinking about hosting your own server without renting from a hosting company, if you go on their Discord community servers thread, it's going to actually tell you the requirements that you're going to need to be able to run the server. But as they implement and work their way towards community servers, they also say that they're going to work towards contacting and setting everything up properly for people to use game server hosting companies. Now, the difference between renting a server and hosting your own will be the ability to actually change the server files. In their Discord community server thread, they state that if you rent from a server hosting company, those servers will grant you admin panel, and I'm sure you're going to be able to change some settings around and some parameters for your server, but you're actually not going to have access to these server files. But if you host your own, there will be rules to follow, and you'll have to sign some sort of agreement, an EULA from BattleBit agreeing to not misuse the whitelisted IPs for server browser. But the coolest thing I see here is with hosting your own is being able and allowed to mod these servers in depth, because you're actually going to have access to these server files. This is the API that they're currently working towards and working to create for hosting servers. It does come at the cost of being responsible to storing and retrieving stats for your players. So you have to make sure that you have a database for all your stats and all the incoming data, but they do say you can connect your backend to anything you prefer. Right now, Sergeant Okidoki also stated that the basics like server stats, chat, etc. are being coded and worked on, basically the foundation, and then all the fun little things will be added in as they progress with the API for community servers. So it's a work in progress, it looks like, but it does look very promising. I'm very excited for this. I might rent a server just because I don't really want to go into the server settings and mess with the code until I really feel comfortable. Maybe I will practice it and try to create something cool. I always thought it'd be really cool to try to create an extraction looter shooter game in BattleBit. That would be amazing. I don't know how the looting would go, but an extraction shooter would be sick. It really seems that you're going to be able to create hilarious amounts of things you can do to your own server, and it should make for some very interesting servers to play on. So that pretty much sums up this devcast. They went on and just spoke about the API, the community servers, and gave a lot of different examples of what you can create through the API. So as they continue to update this, I will continue to investigate and condense this for you guys and try to at least save you some time so you don't have to watch the full thing. Alright guys, well that's it. If you guys like these little updates and news videos about what's going on with BattleBit, hit that subscribe and like button for me, and I'll be sure to try and continue making update videos for you guys to keep you informed. Take care everyone.